as you just saw it. Now, identifying stakeholders is the first thing, of course, but then we need to map them according to the priority that they have on our business. Like I said, not all stakeholders are equal to us. You can't please them all. I mean, it's just like people, right? I mean, yeah, you cannot please everyone. Some may like you, some may not like you. Yeah, so it's just like that. Stakeholders as well, but of course, in the case of stakeholders, we are looking at it from a business perspective. Those groups of which that would advance our business goals the most. Those are whom that we should be prioritizing on. So next, please. Yeah. Okay. So guys, this is something that it's pretty basic, but in any case, you might find it on Google or ChatGPT and find that there are different versions. ChatGPT is fine. Different versions to it. This is a very basic one. Yeah, you can use it. Many companies use it. In any case, you'll find slightly different variations on the net. Yeah. Anyway, so the matrix, and this has got nothing to do with Keanu Reeves. The matrix is basically, something that's going to help you to identify, to go beyond identification of your stakeholders. So, of course, the identification part is just a listing exercise, right? You just list out, yeah? So, have you guys listed out your stakeholders? Can I have anyone wants to share? Sir, at the back with your jacket, stakeholders. Are you from Madrid, by the way? No? I know you're from Madrid. Is he from Madrid as well? No. Hi. Madrid as well. Oh, okay. Anyone wants to volunteer? Stakeholders? Yeah, please, sir. Your external stakeholders, apa? Customers lah, client, suppliers. Okay, client, yeah. Suppliers lagi? Okay. What business are you in, sir? Energy management. Okay. Ooh. Okay, not sustainable. Okay. Just joking. Yeah, okay, energy management, regulators and so on. Anybody else? I think that's about it lah, kan? Okay, anybody else wants to share? I think you guys get it, right? The internal is a shoe-in, right? Yeah, everything is a shoe-in, yeah. Anybody else? Depends, sir, depends on the nature of your business. Yeah, if you feel that the landowner is, are you in property, by the way? Then landowner. Yep. For agriculture, is it? Yeah. Yeah, I would say legit. That's a legit stakeholder, sir. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You're leasing from them, right? So definitely, yeah. They have vested interest in your business. External, sir, external. They're not part of your organization, what? Can? Yeah? Thank you, sir. So yeah, I think you guys get it. That's the easy part. That's the easy part. The slightly a bit more complicated part is trying to put them in, to plot them in. Plot. Axis X, axis Y. Don't worry, I wasn't too good in maths as well in school. Yeah, but hasn't stopped me from doing this, X and Y. Now, basically, with that list that you have now, you need to plot it based on their influence on your business, which is axis X, and their concern or their impact, their interest in your sustainability. So what you need to do is to plot the X and the Y, and then you'll start getting a plotted map. And you'll find, okay, somebody is in top quadrant right, somebody is in top quadrant left, or something like that. Next slide, please. All right, so anyway, let me show this. So if you find that in terms of influence and interest is low, can I go back to the earlier slide? Okay, so that's basically down there. So when you say minimal contact, what it basically means is that they're not really that significant to your business. And basically from our perspective, in terms of sustainability, what it means is that we really don't need to factor them in. Not our priority. Don't look at their faces lah. I mean, I'm saying not priority. Yeah? They are the last of the groups that should be looked at. It depends. Yeah? Next slide, please. Thank you. So then if you if you say they fall under the keep informed, which is high influence, low interest. Next, yes, thank you. High, apa tadi? High, sorry, go back. High influence, low, okay, keep informed, okay, fine. Previous one. Keep informed. So basically you see them on the left-hand side of the left-hand side quadrant, top quadrant, meaning to say, in terms of their influence on your business, not that big, but they are really, really, really concerned about your sustainability. So possibly regulators, they don't really care whether you make money or not, right? As long as you pay them their license fee and whatever. Yeah, but they are very much interested in whether you are keeping up with all the regulations and whatnot. So that would be a usual, typical example. Is everyone with me? Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, next one. Meet needs, meaning low influence but high interest. Back. Okay, guys. So basically, it's actually the opposite of the earlier one. Very high impact or slightly high impact, middle to high impact on our business, but really not bothered about sustainability. Can you give me an example? Huh? Investors, okay. I got a better example, you want to know? Suppliers. They don't really care as long as you buy from them. They'll sell their mothers to you if you need, right? You know what I mean? You know that joke, right? Yeah, so suppliers don't really care because, I mean, I don't blame them. I know we are all suppliers as well. We need a business. So whether you are sustainable or not, not really. Yeah. So these are people that groups, a stakeholder group that you find at the bottom rung of the matrix, meets needs. And then finally, the top liner, guys, high. Okay, back. So high would be, very high level engagement. You need to manage them. You need to hold their hands, not literally, most of the time throughout your business. Who would they be? Customers, definitely. Your shareholders, perhaps, I don't know. It depends, because I've encountered some companies where shareholders are very, very particular about sustainability. Right? Yeah, so in that case, they want to make money and they also want to make sure that you're sustainable. Okay? Yeah. Some are not. Some shareholders don't really care. As long as they give them the returns that they expect and so on. So it depends. So your stakeholder engagement matrix and your stakeholder engagement matrix would never be the same. Never be the same. Yeah? And that's expected. If it is the same, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Because it usually won't be the same. Because each of you, even if you're in the same industry, definitely you will have different expectations, different interests. Yeah, of course, the larger your business operations is, the wider your scope of operations is, the more stakeholders and so on that you'll have. Yeah, things like that. Okay, next please, next slide. Next. Okay, just an example, it's a dummy example. Yeah, just for you to get a feel as to probably this is how it should look like. Okay. So I've just gone on to, just give you a dummy version. Okay lah. So in this case, this hypothetical company that you see, NGOs very interested in the company's sustainability, but not really an impact to the business. Yeah, not really an impact to the business. Whereas community, same thing. Yeah, low impact to business, not really interested in sustainability. So you basically need to be more interested at the first round to be meeting the sustainability concerns in your planning for sustainability transitioning. You need to be more concerned of those at the right-hand side, top side. Right-hand top side. Okay? I got some example from a large company. Next one. Does it show? No, sorry. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please? One more. Yes, okay. Of course, this is LG lah. I mean, this is like a multinational conglomerate times 10, times 100, right? It's a huge company. And they've done it in a spider web format. It's okay. They want to be fancy. We don't need to be fancy. As long as you get the job done. It can look ugly, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you can just use the basic boxes that I gave you earlier, it's fine. But what I'm trying to show is that even a large company like this, they have actually mapped out their stakeholders, and they've even inserted how or what is the stakeholder, that particular stakeholder's concern in terms of sustainability. All right, can we go back a few slides? Go back. One more. Okay, one more. Okay, next. Okay, now, how do we know how to map the stakeholders? How do we know if the stakeholders are indeed interested in your sustainability or not? Do we just imagine ourselves? No, obviously not. But I'm telling you, there are some companies that do that. They just, assume that, oh, you know what, these guys, I think they're not really interested in our whatever, yeah? So there are a couple of ways, actually, that you can, and you have to do this, guys. You have to do this. At the very least, now look, I know we all hate surveys. I mean, I, for one, hate surveys. I usually, send it over to spam when I get, all these email surveys and so on. So surveys, I'm guessing if you guys are SMEs, I'm guessing you're pretty much in one supply chain or another of a large organization. And I'm sure over the years you've been sent some kind of surveys, stakeholder surveys from your clients who are large organizations. Confirm, I'm sure you've had that, yeah? So I'm not recommending this to you if you're an SME, because it's a lot of work. You may not have the bandwidth to run 10,000 surveys or 1,000 surveys and then come and extrapolate all the data and whatnot. You may not have the bandwidth. Yeah, we need to be practical, right? So my suggestion is that, look, if you're an MSME or an SME, small, medium-sized, not that big, the best thing that I find and I usually recommend is that speak to the stakeholders. Take them for coffee or something stronger, not too strong, otherwise you'll get the wrong data. Coffee, I think, is recommended, I think, yeah. So you basically understand from their viewpoint whether, what is it about your business that they are interested in sustainability and all that. Then you compile it. It's a bit of work, yeah, but it can be made into a very social experience, by chit-chatting or some kind of coffee or something like that, yeah. The best thing that you could do, guys, I would recommend focus groups, if you have the bandwidth, the capacity to do it. So bring in, let's say, especially for your customers. I mean, your customers, I'm guessing, are in the hundreds, if not in the thousands. If it's a B2B, maybe it's in the hundreds. If it's a B2C, hopefully it's in the tens of thousands, yeah? You cannot reach out to all of them. What you can do is you can just bring them over to your office, 5, 6 of them, and then have a chit-chat with them, talk to them about your business and things like that. So anyway, the point being that when you do stakeholder mapping, identifying stakeholders is the simplest thing. But you know what I mean, okay, doing that is actually, it's the difficult part. Yeah, it's the difficult part because you cannot be imagining it yourself. You need to get the input from them. All right, everyone okay? Can we move on to the next one? Yes? What if I decide not to? Can? Okay, all right. Okay, next. It's supposed to be an activity. You want to try this out? Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm hearing a lot of yeses now. Okay, let's take 5 minutes. Why don't you guys have a go at this? Come on. Okay, it's just me here standing. Come on, go ahead. Just 2-3 minutes. Okay, not even 5 minutes. You've got, use these, guys. What is this for anyway? Yeah, just use it. Yeah, just a rough one, I'm not going to be assessing you. No marks given, even if you get it right. Just try it out. Yeah? Sorry? You want to share? Yeah. She's from a financial institution.
Okay, hi. My name is Safrina. First, I have to applaud all the distinguished SMEs participants today, together with the speakers, and of course, first and foremost, you. As for the metrics just now, yeah. As for the metrics, for the past of my experience with the commercial bank, there were actually very huge transition. At that time, we were profit-oriented, which we think of on the developments in terms of the sector, and go with the community-based support. At that time, I believe our S and also G would be the main focus for the past 10 to 20 years in Malaysian sector. You can find in any blueprint for economics. So as for today, all the 4 slides you highlighted just now were so much relatable since I joined investment bank for 2 years. They were a very robust exposure, and BNM already issued a circular on CCPT. And at that time, when I was in commercial bank before, they were not so much focused on that. You don't bring green, you're not in. That would be, in fact, our colloquial, or I would say, codes for any bankers. But when you were actually in investment bank, the first call they would definitely ask is, number 1, if you were to have a very good business cycle, can you at least sustain it economically, locally, and what will be your plan? This is something which I believe a very huge pioneer step where ESG came in. Because last time when we were at school, recycle, that was all we knew. So as for that, when you ask me on the engagement, true enough, actually Affin Hwang Investment already started with the focus group. We call off our 20 to 30 remisiers and also salaried dealers to at least understand, because the issues with Malaysian, I seek forgiveness if this is a little bit harsh, but the only thing we know when we go with the environmental, solar car, solar panel. So this is the thing that we have to have, I would say, a very, yeah. I think we have to have a very dynamic movement on that. So if you were to ask, oh, cannot. So that's all, sir.
Thank you so much, Afra. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, that's a very good sharing, though. Thank you. At least someone shared, not like you guys. Again, okay. And are you guys having any issues doing this? Any challenges? Pretty simple, right? You're all smart people, I'm sure. Kan, why do you smile when I say smart? It's true, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, this is not something to be done in 1 hour's time, 1 day's time, even a week's time, guys. Come on. Don't say, oh yeah, I saw this guy, Sham, and he said he can do it like in 5 minutes. No. This is something, when you do it for real, it takes a couple of months at the very least. At the very least. If you guys are like Afra and all that, it'll probably take at least 6-7 months to collate the data and whatnot. Years. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, next one. Okay, that's LG done. Okay. Now, remember I said at the beginning, before you plan out your sustainability transition, you need to look at 2 things. The first thing is, of course, your stakeholders. Second is materiality. Have you guys seen this term before? Okay. Do you guys know what it is about? Okay. Anyone from a finance background here? Finance? Don't be shy. I know we all hate you, but yeah, finance? Finance background? Okay, everyone is shy. Okay, I'm asking for finance people because materiality finds its heritage, if I can say that, in the financial world. Yeah, it was a term that was previously pretty much used in the financial world, but has been adopted, or rather repurposed, if you want to say that, in the sustainability space. So, so what basically it is that, again, coming back to what we said earlier, resource optimization. We can't do it all. We can't please everyone, whatever it is. Our main objective is to ensure revenue, top line, and profitability. That's what we are in it for. Triple bottom line, right? Profit, people, planet, right? No profit, don't even talk about sustainability, right? If your business goes under, right? So materiality basically is a concept, if you look at the screen, yeah, that issues or matters that will have the most impact in your organization. Sustainability issues. Sustainability issues. Next one. Yeah. So what are the key aspects of materiality? I like to draw your attention to the screen. Of course, earlier we did that stakeholder thingy. We had focus group lah. We had, surveys if you have done that and things like that. Now at least you have an understanding of what matters to the stakeholders. So that's more or less done, right? I'm sure you have, I don't know, if you're an SME, I'm guessing you probably don't have a risk management department. Like I said, the owner is also the purchasing manager, the marketing manager. He's probably also the risk management guy, lah, kan? Or lady. Yeah, so that's pretty, yeah. Now, I would like to draw your attention to the last one when I say alignment with global standards and frameworks. The biggest pain in the neck when it comes to sustainability is what? Too many frameworks, too many standards. There are, if you must know, those of you who are technically inclined, I read this just recently, 1,063 frameworks and standards around the world. Okay? So the question that I often get is, Sham, which standard do I follow? Okay? Which I don't have an answer. My answer usually is, it depends. It depends on your industry, your sector, your chamber. It depends. Yeah? There is no cookie cutter, off-the-shelf thing that you can just apply. Of course, if you're a large organization, the go-to would be GRI. I'm sure you guys have heard about GRI. It's been around for the longest time. Yeah? But the others like SASB and so on may or may not apply to you and things like that. And that's the reason why later I think I'll be sharing a local, rather Malaysian initiative, which I think is good. Very good because they've simplified it. No, if you're wondering, I'm not getting any royalties by pushing it. Yeah, it is actually quite good as a starter, at least as a starter. Yeah, so for you to identify, if you are not really sure what are the issues that are material to you, your go-to would be try to get some kind of framework I'll share with you, and then from there, have a look whether these indicators are actually important to you, applicable to you or not. You know, sometimes, like say for example, under the SASB, you will find soil management. I mean, if you are operating from an office, what soil management are you doing anyway? You know, unless like our sir at the back there with his landowners, soil management may be an issue lah. But if it's the rest of us, I'm guessing, I don't know, it's been a while since I actually even stepped onto soil. You know, so soil management, really? No, it doesn't apply to us. Right? Next one, please. Okay, I can stop talking. It's a video, I believe. Is it? Yeah, it is. Okay.
Materiality. In the investment field, the concept of material information is not new. It's defined as information for which there is a substantial likelihood that a reasonable investor would consider it important in making investment decisions, or information that's reasonably certain to have a substantial effect on the stock price or a company's value. Although companies have long assessed both the materiality of sustainability topics and the materiality of financial information, until recently, they've rarely drawn a connection between these two concepts or their application. This consideration is well embedded in the perspective of double materiality. Double materiality refers to the consideration of both sustainability issues that affect companies' activities and the effect of companies' activities on people and the environment. In other words, double materiality goes beyond the focus on companies' financial valuation and looks at the impact the company has on its surroundings, its people, and environment. The concept of materiality is in constant evolution. What is financially not material to a company today can become material tomorrow, a process called dynamic materiality. An example of dynamic materiality is how human population growth has affected natural resources. A century ago, there were only 2 billion of us.
We can stop that.
Today, this number has reached.
Yeah, I mean, this is really not, I mean, we don't have the time to be delving in all this. Okay, guys, I know it's a bit technical. Next slide, I think. Yes. So please have a look at this. I know, I hope I'm not trying, I swear I'm not trying to confuse you. But unfortunately, the nature of the subject is a bit, like that. So as you saw earlier in that video, there is this thing called single materiality and double. Don't worry, there's no triple yet. You never know. Never know, yeah? Anyone know there's a scope 4 now? Scope 1, 2, 3, now there's a scope 4? Yeah. As if 3 wasn't enough, right? Yeah. Yeah. So double and single materiality. Now again, coming back to materiality, yeah, so basically issues that have an impact on our business. So if it is single materiality, simply it is referring to the outside in, meaning what outside factors, the climate or population change or the environment or something like that, will have an impact on your business goals. This was pretty much something from the investment field. And this still forms the basis of some of the more popular reports that are trending nowadays, which are, for example, TCFD. Have you guys heard about TCFD? Yeah. So these are still the fundamentals, the philosophy behind many of the existing framework. But if you understand sustainability, and if you really want to get into sustainability, I think it's only right that we also look at the impact that our business has on the outside. And that is where we have something, this is called double materiality. So we acknowledge that yes, our business can be impacted by outside forces, whether the environment or something like that, social and governance and whatnot. And we also can have an impact by way of whatever pollution or whatever it is. Yeah, or maybe, our hiring practices, in terms of diversity and so on and things like that. All right, I'm going to pause here for a bit and ask you if you're okay with this. Do you guys grasp this? Ken, are you just nodding because I'm asking? Yeah, yes you are. Yeah. All right, because I know it's a bit technical, I'm very sorry, it's like that, but some of these things, we have no choice but to digest it. Yeah, single and double. So simply, I've tried to simplify with these slides, and I believe you have access to the slides, right? Yeah? Yes? No? Not yet. Oh, they're waiting for me to end first. Okay. So I highly recommend it, especially if you're suffering from insomnia. If you read it tonight, I'm sure you'll go to sleep. Yeah, very sure. Yeah, it helps me. Yeah, go to sleep faster. Yeah, no, I mean, anyway. Yeah, so have a look at it, and I hope it makes sense. You can Google it, a lot of information online. Yeah, so like I said, this is just, with our limited time, it's just a preview of sorts. Yeah, so next, please. So now, I would suggest that you don't crack your head. Make life easier for you. And that is by having some kind of a base framework or reporting standard that it becomes like a go-to to you. Because in that particular standard or report, you will find that they've already enlisted what are the issues under E, what are the issues under S, what are the issues under G. So you don't have to crack your head. You don't have to crack your head. I mean, of course, if you're a large organization, it's different. But I think for us, as SMEs or MSMEs, if you're looking into, doing your materiality assessment, the go-to would definitely be some simple report or framework that has already outlined to you or identified what are the issues, and you pick and choose if it's applicable to you. Like I said, soil management, I think most of us, apart from our gentleman at the back there, I don't think it applies to most of us anyway, right? Okay, next. Okay, now I think we skip this. Okay, so now, once, again, it's just like the stakeholder thing. Once you have identified what are the issues, both inside out and outside in terms of materiality, then what you need to do is, again, do a prioritization exercise. Sorry, I don't know, it's Friday, right? Materiality assessment. So basically, you assess in terms of its significance of these issues to your business. Whether very significant, okay significant, or not really significant. And for that, again, next, please. Yeah, so the steps would be, in order to do a materiality assessment, of course, first one, you identify the issues. Like I suggested earlier, don't crack your head. We don't have time to be, doing all those things. The go-to would be get a very simple framework. I'll share a QR code of that, something that I would recommend for you as a starter pack. As a starter pack. Of course, if you've already done sustainability, it's different. But you are just about to start or something new, we all need some kind of starter pack. Okay? Yeah, make life easier, right? Okay, so that would be that. And then you categorize topics, and finally, you prioritize. Next one, thanks. Okay, for that, again, yet another matrix. Yeah, this is the sequel to the earlier stakeholder engagement matrix. Yeah, next. Yep, so this is not that different from what you saw earlier in terms of the stakeholder engagement matrix. Again, this is the vanilla version, if I can say that. I'll show you some chocolate and Raspberry whatever version later. It all depends on how you want to present it, as long as it works. You know, this is just the 101 version lah. Yeah, where you have these 4 quadrants. Some people like rainbows. I'm okay. If you like rainbows, you can go with rainbows. But quadrants are fine by me. Yeah. Again, same thing. So same principle as in the stakeholder engagement matrix. Of course, in this case, you have a bit of color coding. Green for environment, blue for social, and purple for governance. Yeah. I'm not using red because red usually doesn't mean a good thing unless it's Chinese New Year, right? The only time red is good is during Chinese New Year, right? Yeah. So you color code it. Next, please. Yeah. So basically, the steps again, like I said, is not something you do overnight. You identify the aspects that impact your business. You can use a framework, a simple framework, as a guide as to what issues could be relevant to your business. And then after that, you gather input from your stakeholders, which technically you have done earlier by way of your stakeholder engagement. And then, again, you plot, and this is not plotting to, for the downfall of something. It's actually plotting axis X and axis Y. And then you identify which sustainability aspects are of high materiality to your business. Next, please. Okay, I'm going to show you 2 examples. This is version like 2.0 kind of thing compared to the vanilla version which I shared with you. Yeah, this is from Sime Darby. It's a huge multinational based in Malaysia. They've got operations, I believe, in quite a few countries. This is their materiality. And rightfully, you see quite a few issues lah, because they are big. They are big. You guys, if you guys are SMEs, should not have that many. If you have, then there's something wrong. You know what I mean? Right? So this is Sime Darby. Of course, it's only right that they have so many there. And you can see all color-coded, right? What is social, what is governance, and things like that. So this is the one version. I've got a more fancier version. Next, please. Yep, spider web. Okay, it's actually the same thing. It's just presented in a very nice visual. The same thing. And looks fancier. So, doesn't matter, you want to do spider, you want to do whatever, it's up to you. I've seen rainbows as well. People do it in a rainbow format, So the top tier of the rainbow being the ones that are the most material, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm a bit, I'm a stickler for basic stuff. So I usually stick to the basic 4 quadrants. I think it works. Okay? Need not be fancy as long as it works. Are you guys okay with this? Okay so far? Understand what's going on? Any issues? Okay. All right. Next. So, like I said, the issues can differ from one industry to another. There is no off-the-shelf cookie cutter thing. Yeah. But here I'm sharing with you some common ones which I think in most cases apply. In most cases. Energy. Who doesn't consume energy, right? How do you operate without energy anyway, right? Waste, definitely. It's just a matter of whether it's a lot or a little bit. If you're a service-based firm, consulting firm or something like that, operating at some shopping complex, I don't think your waste is that much. On the other hand, if you're into manufacturing, right? So something like that. Emissions. Water, maybe not an issue unless you're into manufacturing. If the water that you use is pretty much just the washroom, not really an issue. Yeah. Materials management, again, something that depends on the nature of your business. And biodiversity, if, perhaps like the gentleman at the back there with his land leasing and all that, biodiversity would be something, yeah, Tuan? Something that definitely would be of concern. On the social aspect, diversity, equity, and inclusivity, definitely. We want to promote equity and all that. Community engagement, health and safety, labor practices, employee management, governance, depends. If you don't have a board, there's no board representation. Now, remember I said earlier, it will vary from one business to another, right? But can you guys tell me which ones are non-negotiables? Meaning no matter what business you do, no matter what sector you are in, confirm you will have that in. Anyone? No, not the dimension, the indicators. What? Sorry? Yes, health and safety. Some more? Non-negotiable, sorry? Yalah, akta pekerja apa? Labor practices, yeah, okay, definitely, yeah. What more? You guys are missing the very important one. Human rights, okay? There's some more very important. Pollution is not a non-negotiable because if I'm a service-based firm, I'm just in a, 2-story shop lot or something like that. It's not necessarily something. But yeah, pollution is important, but not apply to everything. Very important one, guys. Who said what? Who said what? Okay. This one is interesting. Who said what? Okay. Anti-corruption. Yeah? Something that we see every day, right? How many of you here, if I can have a show of hands, have an anti-corruption, anti-bribery policy in your office? SME Corp tak ci lah bang, is cannot lah SME Corp. Obviously it's a given lah tuan. SMEs, really? Okay. Who doesn't have it? Don't be shy. So anyway, I know we don't have time. My suggestion is, these are some of the very low-hanging fruits that you can start doing immediately. Next week, where are you going back to, sir? Okay, to where? To Laos. Okay, when you get back to Laos, Vientiane, is it? Yeah, Vientiane. First thing you do on Monday is implement an anti-corruption, anti-bribery policy. Sustainability, 1 tick. Very easy. You can find the policies online. I mean, how different is bribery from one country to another? It's the same principle. Correct? No, I'm not kidding, right? So these are low-hanging fruits that you can start off immediately. Everyone, like Afra was saying, talks about solar panel, all the sexy stuff. Everyone likes the sexy stuff. The one that's going to cost us the most. Yes, they are good stuff, but it's a long-haul thing. It's going to cost us quite a bit. What about the basic stuff? We don't even have the basic stuff. You don't even have a policy for anti-bribery. You don't have, a diversity, inclusivity policy and so on. These are things that you can start next week when you go back. Where are you going back to, ma'am? Manila. Okay, nice. Okay, so, she's going to go back to Manila and, do whatever is necessary. Okay, guys. Data privacy and security depends on the nature of your business. If you have customer data, if you don't, then... All right, everyone okay with this? So you understand that there is no cookie cutter version, there's no off-the-shelf version. You need to decide. You decide. Okay, having said that, guys, a lot of people I find, when I engage with them, they are scared of sustainability. Don't be scared, fight back. Fight back in a good way. It doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. There's no shame in it. Yes, correct. You hit the nail, sir. So sometimes, as our gentleman here was saying, it's interrelated. Then you don't have a choice. Then you have to do it. Yeah? Okay, thank you for that. All right, next. How much time do I have left? Okay. Okay, guys, so this was issued last year in October, I believe. I think this year they've come up with a sectorial version for 5 different sectors. Like I said, full disclosure, I'm not getting any royalty by promoting this or anything like that. I don't get paid. But honestly, as a practitioner, someone that has seen many frameworks, I find for an SME, those of you who are not SMEs, not really lah. For an SME, this is a good one. And I believe I read that they've even launched it with the ASEAN ESG Secretariat or something like that. I don't know, you might want to fact check that. But I remember reading about it a couple of months back. So it is available at the ASEAN. It's a public document, you can read it. Really, guys, I'm telling you, it's a good one. Because it's a starter pack. It even acknowledges that, look, if you have never done it before, this is what you should be doing. If you've already started reporting, this is what you should be doing. And they've nicely stacked up 5 indicators for each dimension, meaning 5 indicators in environment, E, 5 indicators for S, 5 indicators for G. Just nice, 15. Nice number, right? So, and you don't have to follow all. It's not a mandatory framework. It's a guide. It's a recommendation. So, if you find something there that's really not related to you, don't use it lah. Don't report lah. Okay? All right? So, everyone scan that? All right, next. Okay, guys, so what have we done so far? We've engaged with our stakeholders, we have prioritized them, we have identified what issues are important for us in terms of materiality and so on. The next step would be, the most important one, is to start planning. How are we going to get sustainability integrated into our operations, yeah? And for that, like I said, we need a plan. You can call it a framework, you can call it a blueprint, you can call it whatever you like. It's basically a plan. Next, please. Yeah, so this is basically more or less the flow that you should be looking into. You begin with a stakeholder engagement, and then you conduct a materiality assessment, and then you start planning, right? Why do we need a plan? Anyone? Why do we need a plan? Yeah, okay, transition. And then the other thing is that it helps you keep track of your progress. Because otherwise, if you don't have a plan, you don't know whether you're on track. I mean, this is basic, right? Next, please. Thank you. Okay, not to scare you or anything. It's, you want to have it in this format, it's fine. If you don't want to use this format, it's fine. Usually when I do engagements, I find it's easier for me to explain to clients when we stack it up like that. And you see the entire thing in just one single page. It's not 40 pages that you need to flip. Yeah, who likes flipping 40 pages here? Nobody, right? Yeah, so I think one pager, one go, one scan, you get it. So I think that's the reason why I usually recommend this. It's not rocket science. Yeah, it's not rocket science. Next, please. So we begin with a sustainability commitment. Now, a sustainability commitment is basically your overall vision. What is it as a company? What is your focus going to be in sustainability? Like I keep saying, do not think that everyone is expecting you to be sustainable throughout and do every single thing. You only do that which is salient to your business, within your scope. Often I get people, you know the SDGs, right? How many SDGs are there? 17? 17 or 15? Sure or not? Sure. Okay, it's 17. I'm just testing you. 17, right? I have people come to me and say, you know, I'm aligned to 17 goals. Nobody's expecting you to align your business to 17 goals. Large corporations, multinationals, I'll even show you some case studies, 5, 6 at the most. And these guys are huge. Who are we SMEs to even go like 10 or 5 or 6 or whatever? So don't do stuff that you know it's not going to work. Who are you trying to impress? Are you trying to impress anybody? No, we are not, right? We are really doing this for the sake of doing it, right? So a commitment, for example, next, gang, next one. Yeah, so this is just, you know, I just wrote it down. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it, just to give you an example. So here purposely I've selected 3 different types of sectors. Kan, construction, manufacturing, services. In fact, later I'll show you an example, case study of P&G. You guys know P&G, right? Procter & Gamble. World's largest FMCG company. It's even simpler than that. That's why I always say, the guys who are the largest go for the simplest. The guys that are not so big, like us, always like to do the fancy stuff. Why? Who are we trying to impress? Right? Okay? So some examples here. I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. It's just to give you the tone, you know, yeah, the feel for it. Next, please. Yeah. So once you have the commitment, I'll stack it up later for you. Of course, it's the goals. The goals essentially is your area of focus, obviously. Next, please. So coming back to that same 3 dummy examples, construction, manufacturing, services. So eco-efficient building practice. This is entirely up to you. I'm not advocating for any of these objectives. I'm just giving example only. It's entirely up to you. You decide. Your business, you decide. I'm just advising, all right? Next, please. Then, of course, you need to have goals, yeah? Next. Oh, that was a plan, sorry. So the goals need to be quantified, measurable. You guys know this, right? Basic, what is it again? SMART, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, don't know what, I can't remember now. Yeah, it's measurable. It's, you know, if it's going to be by when, by how much. But otherwise, how are you going to keep track? Next, please. So an example would be like this. Just, again, dummy example. I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. Just to give you a feel for it. It's all doable, right, guys? Does sustainability seem so difficult now? I'm not getting a yes. Oh, okay, scary though. Okay, yeah, so some examples. I believe the slides will be shared with you. So yeah, if you don't manage to snap photos, that's fine, right? So what can you see from here? It's time bound. It's time bound, definitely, yeah. Otherwise, it's going to take forever. And then, of course, you can't quantify it. You've quantified it. It's measurable, right? These are things that we can do, yeah. Next. Okay, fine. Now, I always find that in business or in life, for that matter, it's one thing for us to set down goals. We sometimes forget to identify what is it that we need to do to get the goals going. Everybody's got goals. I want to be a millionaire by next year, you know, whatever and all that. What are you going to do? How are you going to become a millionaire? Manifestation doesn't work though. You know what I mean? All right? So, strategic activities, guys. Meaning, you need to identify what are the organizational activities. Basically, in simple language, what is it that you need to do as a business to be able to reach those goals? Makes sense, what? Doesn't it make sense? Yes? No? You're not nodding. Okay, never mind. Yeah? Strategic activities are just key actions, yeah? Next, please. So, for example, dummy example. So, for me to reach my goals of 20% increase, for example, dummy example, of sustainable materials by 26, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, I'm going to partner with suppliers of certified sustainable materials. Oh, I'm going to revise procurement policies to prioritize sustainable materials, on and on and on. You guys get what it is? You get it, right? Understand? Yes? Okay. Next one. Okay. So sometimes in our attempt to go on with our organizational activities, what's that word? Why am I missing this word now? Sometimes we forget about the gaps that we have. There may be things that you need to address by way of gaps in order for you to do those activities which you had set out. So these are basically the enablers. Okay, next, please. Very vanilla thing. I mean, it could be any of these things for you. Maybe you need to add on, there's a gap in your technology at the moment. Maybe in terms of leadership. How many of your partners know about sustainability? Okay? So, sir, please call me to Laos. Yeah, I've never been to Laos. I know it's a beautiful country. I'll be happy there and come and, talk to you and your partners about sustainability. Yeah? If I fly first class, of course. Yeah? Anyway, I was joking. Yeah? So, it's up to you. Maybe it's people, maybe it's culture. So, in my engagements, I find different companies are at different levels of sustainability, awareness, understanding. Even large ones. Yeah, the top bosses may understand, middle management may not. It depends. So yeah, so this is something you need to decide. I don't know, because it's your business. You know best. Right, guys? Okay, next. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Now, look at how simple yet impactful it is for a company as large as P&G, the world's largest FMCG group. Look at their sustainability commitment. Simple one. You don't have to give me one A4 page of commitment. No need. No need. Nobody's going to be impressed. Their commitment is very simple: to enable and inspire positive environmental and social impact through our brands, value chains, employees, partnerships, full stop. So if a company as large, as well-known as P&G only ends up having something as simple as this, why should we be aiming for a full A4 page for our commitment? Can? No need. No need. Yeah? So then look at it. Very simple goals. Very simple goals. Climate risks, waste management, sustainable sourcing, water management. So simple. P&G, no. P&G. I mean, true story, I've engaged with hundreds of SMEs. I've had people come to me with 7 goals, 8 goals. The company has 20 staff. How? Come on, man. No need. You can do this on a sequential basis. Address the first 3, settle, then move on to next phase, settle, then move on to next phase. You will do not have the bandwidth or the capacity to attend to so many at one go. Correct? Scary, right? Is there an earthquake that we should know? Okay. Okay, never mind. Let me finish this. Please forgive me if I say something wrong. Okay. Next, please. Okay. So again, still on PNG. Very simple targets. Achieve net zero. Of course, simple for them lah. Achieve net zero by 2030. Prevent plastic leakage. Support sustainable sourcing. Water management. Address, conserve, restore 3.3 billion liters. Yeah. I'm not going to read word for word. It's going to just bore you. The point I'm trying to make here is it's very simple, guys. So if early on we said, yes, it's overwhelming, it's a lot to digest, yes. But is it very difficult to do? No. In spite of whatever you may think. So if there's one thing that you take away from my session, I hope it is that, oh yeah, I remember that guy. I think sustainability is doable. I'll be happy, man. Yeah, because probably the rest of the stuff you may or may not recall in the next coming days. If you can go away from this session and think that it's something that I think I can do, I believe I can do, I think that to me is a great achievement by itself. Right, guys? Next, please. Yeah, so next, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so they have identified their strategic enablers. Next. Okay, thank you. That's it. So I'm happy to wonder who is that, Hasida Nurul Haq. Okay, that's definitely not me. Okay, I'm happy to take questions. Really looking forward to it though. Challenge me. This thing I love about Asian crowds, right? They never ask questions. You can say anything you like, they will never ask you back. Okay. Yes, sir. The man from Laos. Yes.
Thanks. Sorry. A couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. First of all, you mentioned about single and double materiality, what's the difference in terms of the planning phase of that, given that, and my understanding is it's natural that most companies would go double, right? Second question I have is, most MSMEs, including my companies, we do stakeholder relation or stakeholder engagement planning as an integral part of our business. So we integrate as a business planning. So in this case, sustainability strategic planning, should that be in the business plan?
Thank you. I'm going to, okay, there were two questions. I'm going to answer the second question first, sir. His second question was, should the Sustainability Action Plan, be integrated into the business plan? The answer is 100,000% yes. It must be a plug-in, because remember, profit, people, planet. Your sustainability action, your sustainability goals rather, must be aligned to your business goals. I mean, like I said, I don't have time here because of our limitations, but the programs that I run, usually at the end, once they've done it, I'll get them to align it to their business goals. If your sustainability goals are not aligned to your business goals, something wrong somewhere. This, if you guys remember, was the problem with corporate social responsibility. You don't see much of it now because for the most part, CSR, as we knew it then, was just an exercise in, I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like that. It's silo. What do you gain from it? Okay, I am the chairman of the company. I go up on stage and I give you a big mock check, to some, marginalized group or something like that. Yes, it's a good thing. It's philanthropy, but is it aligned to your business? It's not. So no wonder why it's fizzled out. Yeah. So yes, sir, definitely. In fact, if your business, and I've done this for some clients, they already have a strategy house for their business operations. So we actually make this a plug-in component to that. So must be aligned, definitely. Okay. Single, double materiality, that is entirely your call. From my experience, usually it's the financial crowd that's interested in your single materiality because they want to make sure their investment is safe. So they want to make sure that the outside elements, single materiality, does not affect your ability to repay their loans. But the rest of us, we are all interested in double materiality. Because I want to know what is your impact on the society, on the community. So if you're already doing double, you have nothing to worry about. Thank you, sir. More questions? Yes, sir. Yeah, okay. Okay. The man with the Ferrari cap, okay?
Assalamualaikum dan good morning, everyone. My question to the is good presentation, yeah, the contents. My question, I have one sharing first, then followed by question. On the Procter & Gamble, right? Even though you see it's a simple, but in order to achieve the goal, right, they have what they call it, they have a thinking process that they look into the obstacles and also injections to overcome each one of them. So it takes a lot of work there. Looks simple, but a lot of thinking there. Okay. Yeah, because I know how they work. Yeah. Okay. My question is on this. Yeah. For SMEs, we have spent so much time and money in order to get to ESG, right? Every step is just funding. So, and innovations done by us is going on, ongoing now. And I don't call it process improvement, I call it process of ongoing improvement, right? Not process improvement, ongoing improvement. So my question is, for the SME, we have done our part. What, based on your research and your experience, what are the innovations that we wish to have the government implement, right? On their side, in order to make it easier for us, memudahkan, right? Okay, that's number one. And then which country are we, is the best country to benchmark regarding the ESG? What are the innovations they have done, right? And then, secondly, my question is about...
Okay, I thought there were 3 questions for you there, no?
Okay, 3 questions. The last one is that, what are the... Okay, what are the bottlenecks, right? What are the bottlenecks from the current reality in order to go into the future, which is ESG, right? And then what are the themes? Question number 5. What are the themes? Themes in the current reality that we have to be concerned of. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So many questions. I hope I can remember them all. Let me address them in reverse order, or maybe not. I think the bottleneck, sir, I would say, and this is backed by research and by WEF and all that, it seems to be something which is pretty universal, and by that I mean everywhere. It's not just Asia and things like that. Capacity building, awareness, sir. People still don't understand what sustainability is. Or if I could put it in a different way, I think a lot of people, especially business people, are unable to connect sustainability to a business perspective. And it's not our fault. It's not our fault, business people's fault, simply because if you look at there, the narrative is pretty much very conceptual. It's difficult. Sustainability is difficult, you know. So you're hearing about saving the whales, saving the dolphins and all that. So if I'm a business person, I'm going to say, saving the whales is fine, saving the dolphin is fine, but what is that to me, my business, right? So that part is missing. So I find that for the most part, even after all these years, like you said, with ESG, still ramai, a lot of people there that really don't have, they are not even able to differentiate sustainability and ESG. It is not the same thing, guys. ESG and sustainability not the same thing. ESG is simply the data points, which is a subset of your sustainability. Often you find out there, people use it interchangeably. It's not. There are a lot of people confused about SDG and so on. So to address that question, bottleneck is I would say, education awareness. Yeah. So please call me, sir. Yeah, I'm happy to help you. Yeah. Anyway, the government question, I'm very sorry, I cannot speak on behalf of the government, so I'm not going to answer that question. Yeah, so I'm not a mouthpiece with the government, so I can't say anything. Yes, I do acknowledge, I'm not, by sharing PNG's Sustainability Action Plan, I'm not trivializing it. Like our gentleman said there, they have put in a lot of thought, probably over the years. All I'm saying is that the output, after all that work, is actually very simple. Any one of us can understand. Why I'm saying that is because I'm sure we have all seen some statement of purpose or mission statement of our business partners and so on, you don't understand a word what they're trying to say. A lot of flower here, flower there, but really what does it mean? You don't know. So it doesn't really work. What was the other question? Okay, countries-wise, it's quite difficult to say because now, of course, the SDG ranking comes out every year. 2024's ranking just came out last week. As usual, for the past, since they've been having this ranking, the top 10 are mostly all either Scandinavian countries and Western European countries. But are we in a position to emulate them? We are not, because these are countries that have had industrialization for the past 300-400 years, whereas we are still developing. Malaysia, I think technically I'm old enough to remember, maybe this 40 years that we've industrialized. When I was in primary school, it was still pretty much rubber and tin. Right, sir? So I think we shouldn't be looking at that, and that is why, I don't know if you're familiar with this term, something which is called just transition. So this applies to developing countries like us, where look, yes, sustainability is important, but it should not be at the risk of us losing our jobs or, a risk of, losing money and things like that. We should be we should be given the opportunity to embrace sustainability in our good time. So to be fair to us. So I think in terms of emulation though, I would not say, we should not be looking at, we can use them as inspiration, but I think to emulate them is a bit difficult. I hope I've answered all your questions, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, I have, 5 minutes left? Huh? One more question, okay. Yes, yeah, sure.
How would you respond to remarks that say sustainability or ESG is just another trend? Just like CSR became CR and then became...
Okay, I don't know how to answer that. The question was, how do I respond, which is a very popular question actually. Sometimes people even stop me before I say anything and ask me this. How do I respond to the claim that ESG is just a trend? Any ideas? I'm throwing back the ball to you. Because they don't want to spend money. Okay, then? Okay. Do you guys see the weather being more unpredictable? I'm from up north, Malaysia. My mom still is around. Sometimes I visit her. It's very hot. In Penang, it's very hot. So I don't know about you guys. So I don't know if it's a trend, if it's really happening. We used to have like a monsoon kind of a season and so on. Do we have that now? That's only that. Does the fact that, I always share this with the ladies, in Malaysia in particular, on average, for every 1 ringgit that a male makes, ladies only make on average 66 cents. Is that a trend? It's not, it's happening. Malaysia is ranked 114 out of 143 in terms of women empowerment. Is that a trend? No. So what I'm trying to say here is that we often like to confine ESG to just the E. I think Afra was saying that as well. That's the climate. There's a lot of social issues, governance issues, like we were talking about anti-corruption, anti-bribery and things like that, that we don't talk about. Remember, it's E, S, and G. But because environment is very sexy, solar panel, this and that and all that, so we like to go for the sexy stuff. Yes, the climate change is real. Yes, it is a pressing problem. Yes, the banks are asking you to report on your emissions. But don't forget, there is S and there is G. Right? So, ma'am, I don't think it's a trend. I don't think the weather is a trend. It's only getting worse over the years. So I can only answer that. Some people ask me if it's an agenda by the... It's not, lah. It's not, yeah. If anything, it's only going to get more acute in the coming years. Thank you for that question. All right, guys, I think we are done. Yeah, thank you so much. Norris, I'm going to pass it back to you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sham, for the invaluable knowledge shared. Small but sure steps. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, as we draw near the conclusion of our successful ASEAN Hong Kong China SMEs Going ESG Policy Dialogue and Workshop 2024, Empowering SME Sustainability, it is now my privilege to invite a leader whose vision and guidance have been instrumental in our organization's journey. Please join me in welcoming Yang Berusaha, Mr. Rizal bin Datuk Naini, CEO of SME Corporation Malaysia, to deliver the closing remarks.
All right, thank you to the MC today. Well, we are coming to the end, right? So distinguished speakers, moderators, and participants, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani, and a very good coming to afternoon, yeah, still morning, but we are still at 11:59, if I'm not mistaken. So still a very good morning, and later will be a very good afternoon. So now we have come to the end of our program, and I believe the last 1.5 days have been beneficial to you as it has been to me. And as you know, we have panel discussions, we have sharing stories, best practices, and today we have capacity building workshop, which I believe the distinguished speakers have done a good job, and I would like to thank all of them. And when SME Corp Malaysia initiated this so-called program, we bid for this program to become the organizer in 2022. Our intention was to bring in like-minded experts across the region to discuss on this important topic of sustainability. At this moment, I can vouch that we have achieved the objectives with the various good comments we have received so far. And yesterday, in the keynote address, the Honorable Minister mentioned that having good ESG performance is now an integral part of business risk management. This sentiment was echoed by all Malaysians and international panelists that presented their cases in the seminar. However, we also acknowledge that the prospect of embarking on ESG journey can be daunting for many SMEs, especially if they lack the resources and expertise of larger organizations. So in our session this morning, we have shared with all of you the practical steps that SME can take to begin their ESG journey, as well as the benefits that they can expect to see as a result of implementing an ESG framework in their operations. SME should start small in terms of their approach towards ESG practices by making it a requirement within their organization. I strongly believe that every business can do at least one thing, be they recycling their waste properly or simply switching off their computers and monitors at night. Making a difference to the planet does not need to be costly or mean making radical changes to your businesses. As for my advice for SMEs, it is important to start small and think big. Take small steps, but sure steps, approach towards adopting ESG. Embedding sustainability on ESG practices from beginning means it grows with you, develops and evolves along with the company. The ESG Quick Guide for MSMEs, developed by SME Corp Malaysia, can be one of the tools perhaps that you require to kickstart your ESG journey. With that note, I once again would like to thank all participants, especially our guests from ASEAN member states, Hong Kong, China, and the ASEAN Secretariat for accepting our invitation to this program. We do hope you have gained valuable knowledge and insights from this program. And last but not least, perhaps have a safe travels. And I do hope to see you soon in other programs and activities organized by SME Corp Malaysia. One more thing, last but not least, I would like to give credit to my team, especially to the Economy and Policy Division, SME Corp Malaysia, I think headed by Ms. Kausalya, as well as other divisions like the Corporate Communication, as well as the EM. Your ability to create such a memorable event is nothing short of remarkable. A word of applause for the stars behind the scenes. Thank you for an exceptional and amazing time with all the participants as well. Looking forward for other programs in the future. With that, I end with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you, Yang Berusaha Mr. Rizal bin Datuk Naini. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have enjoyed and benefited from our event. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to us. Please take a moment to fill out the feedback form. Scan the QR code on the screen to evaluate this whole event. Your input helps us improve and make future events even better. QR code for the program materials, including all the slides presentations, is available in the program book. As our event draws to a close, on behalf of the organizer, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for your enthusiasm and participation. Thank you once again. Please enjoy your lunch at the coffee house.